solving a word problem with two unknowns using a linear equation. In this topic, in Alex, they're always going to be telling you about two quantities. Maybe we could call them like A and B. And they're going to tell you how these two topics are, how these two quantities are related, and also what their total or combined amount or sum is. So basically you add them together and then they'll give you some number that is equal to their total. So that's going to be how you build this equation. But they'll also give you, as I said, another way these two quantities are related, and that's how you're going to be able to create an equation that just has one variable in it. So like here we have Huilan's age is 2 times Thomas's age. The sum of their ages is 18. What is Thomas's age? So maybe if we let H be Huilan's age and T be Thomas's age, it's pretty easy to see that H plus T is 18. What's tricky is knowing how to get an equation that only has one variable, not two different variables in it. And so we need to use this first sentence here. So we need to use the fact that Huilan's age is 2 times Thomas's age, or the H is 2 times T. So I'm now going to kind of substitute this 2t in and write 2t plus t equals 18. So we have 2t for Huilan's age plus Thomas's age equals 18. So now we can actually solve this because we just have a single variable. So 2t plus 1t is 3t equals 18, and then divide by 3. And we get t is 6. And this kind of worked out nicely because we ended up finding t, which we had said was Thomas's age, and that's what we were asked to find. So this is, in fact, our answer. And you can always check these by just making sure that the number you get makes sense. So we know then now Thomas should be 6, and so we can figure out Huilan is going to be twice that, 2 times 6, or 12. And if we add 6 and 12 together, we get 18, which is what they said we should get, right? The sum is 18. So we can feel pretty good that 6 is the correct answer. Okay, so let's try one more of these. So what can often be tricky is when instead of giving you the relationship where it's something about 2 times or 3 times or something like that, they tell you something with less than. So if you see less than or fewer than, or like what else? Maybe subtracted from or something like that. A lot of times it can be confusing, like which thing is supposed to be the less quantity or the more quantity. So for example, we have a garden table and a bench cost $854 combined. Okay, there's that total that we're going to need, but let's leave it alone for a minute. The garden table costs $46 less than the bench. What is the cost of the bench? Okay, so the garden table costs $46 less than the bench. Then the garden table would have to be whatever the bench is, I'll just use a B, minus 46. So the less than, the fewer than, sometimes it can switch around your subtraction, and that can just be a little bit tricky. And so let's see, they said, what is the cost of the bench? So I'll go ahead and write out B for bench. And then, so I could use a G for the garden table or a T, whatever, but I don't want to have multiple variables. So instead, I'm going to write the B minus 46 down here for my notes to myself, that's my garden table. And then, since I know how much it is combined, I can set up my equation. The bench plus the garden table, B minus 46, equals 854. Now, just by the way, you could set this up differently. You could say maybe you want to use G for the garden table, and then that would mean that the bench would be more. It would be G plus 46. And so you could set those equal to each other and, add those together and set it equal to 854. And you'll get the price of the garden table. You would just have to you'd have an extra step where you'd have to figure out how much the bench is at the end. But you can do it that way. There's usually many ways to do these problems. Okay, I'll go back over here, and this would be 2b minus 46 equals 854. And so if I solve for b, I need to add 46. And I'll have 2b equals 900. And dividing by 2, I get b is 450. And b was the cost of the bench, and that's what we just found, so that is the answer to type in to Alex. Now, if you solve this guy over here, you're going to end up getting whatever this is plus, you're going to get the garden bench, so you're going to get minus 46. So I believe if you solve this little equation over here, you're going to get 404. I think that's right. And so you would just have the extra step of figuring out that your bench would be 404 plus 46. And I mean, it's fine. It's not that much longer to do it that way. So kind of whatever seems to make sense to you to set up all these variables and unknowns and get your equation, that's what you should do.